Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here with a project using things from the new mini catalogue coming out in January and the freebies celebrations items. This is for a blog hop that I was on yesterday, Stamping Dreams, so be sure to go and check that out afterwards. There will be links down below to this blog which will link to that one. So I don't normally, and if you want a copy of these, just let me know. If you're in the UK, send it you, no problems. So I've used this beautiful DSP, which is free. I've used the lily pad stamp set, which is free. I've used the matching dies, which is free, and then I've used the Amour from this set, which is one that you can buy. So I'm just throwing everything at it because it was supposed to showcase, so I thought, well, if it's a showcase, let's showcase lots. Okay, so stay tuned and you can see how I made, I've not shown you inside this box that opens up and holds 3 Yankee candles chosen to match the paper that I chose. Okay. Right, to make this box you need 12 by 12 cardstock, and you can get the whole thing out of a 12 by 12 sheet. You get little bits of scraps which you can use for the decoration or other things. So this is the inner of the box and this is the outer. So this measures 9 inches by 11 3/4. Okay, so on the short side, so the 9-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm always getting lazy when it gets to the bottom. 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches, 4 3/4, and 6 3/4. All the measurements will be on my blog, Nigezza.co.uk, and then on the long side it's 2 1/4 and 8 1/2. Okay. I was going to do it as a Christmas project, but actually I kind of ran out of Christmas projects, so I thought, let's just make it with the new stuff. And having a blog hop that asked you to showcase the new stuff, I thought, well, this is perfect. And the candles that I happen to have went really well with DSP, so it was like it was meant to be. That's what I thought. So there we go. And I've already done them too. Right, I'm going to get my long scissors for this. So I'm going to just cut up all of these straight lines, and then we've got to do a little bit of trimming in places. Right, and we need to do a slight bit of trimming because they're not an even size. So we've got 2 1/4 and 2 inches. So we need to trim off some of them. Okay, so we are going to trim off these 2 here, and we're going to trim off the top one and leave the 2 centre ones untrimmed. So I'm going to do that. We'll do it that way, and we want to trim just under 1/4 inch, so like 3/16 really. So we've got 1/4 inch marked on here, and we're going to go back 1/16. When I did it before, I had the old trimmer, and it just kind of went to the edge of this colour on that one, but this one, it's a bit of a different colour, so it doesn't quite work. I mean, it's shorter, so we're just taking those little bits off those edges. So fold in those 2 middle ones and cut those ends off. And this is where I kind of go, I hope I've done that right. So back a 16th. Get some more off. And that's just so that it fits, it looks more flush when we're folding and sticking. So we've got that. So those two ends are smaller and that end's smaller. And then we want to do a little bit of notching. So we're going to notch in this one and this one that we've, the second and the fifth, ever so slightly, not a massive notch. But a slight notch. I'm going to do it on this side so I can see. We're basically just going to take off that bit of score line, because you're going to see this slightly on the inside, so you don't want it to be massively notched, just a tad notched. Because that's going to go in like that. I think that's all right. And then we're going to do this bottom one, just notch the top edge of this bottom one. And then we're going to notch this second one ever so slightly as well. This one is gonna have most of it cut away, so it doesn't actually matter, this one, how far it is. I think I'll draw a template on my blog for this, so it's easy to refer to. So if I now put that flat, can you see where we've notched? So we've cut in the first flap, notched it slightly, left the next flap with just a slight notch at the top. This flap is left alone completely, although that does need neatening up, Jez. This one we've cut in and we've notched, and the bottom one we've cut in and we've notched, but that didn't cut up that line very well. So I'm going to rectify that. Not notching, just cutting out the score line. Okay, so that's that. So now let's start gluing. So we're going to put glue on this short edge, and we're going to glue it. So this is the inside of the blocks. We're going to glue this on the inside, but we're going to stick it to the outside. So we're going to put glue along here, because this bit's going to get sandwiched so you don't see it. So we want to sandwich it across there, and we might need to trim it down a little bit. Try and get it at a right angle. We have notched in so it's not going all the way down, and we've notched in this one, so we're trying to make sure we've got a nice right angle. Same on this side. A nice right angle. And then this is going to get stuck down there. So we're just going to trim that slightly. I haven't taken quite enough off. So trim that so it matches what's gone up. And then we're going to check when this comes forward if that needs trimming off a bit more. And it does. Obviously that needed trimming off as well. Obviously trim the bottom 3 flaps if that's not trimmed off. We're going to put glue on this to stick it up, and then we'll do the trimming when it's done so that we know we get a flush end. Maybe that's why I did it. So this may have been a deliberate mistake. So that's going to go along there. And this reinforces the sides of the boxes really nice. So the side of the box is double thick. The lids at the side's going to be double thick as well. Okay. And then I'm going to take my long scissors and we're going to cut diagonally from the corner of this box up to the edge. But first of all, I want to cut this bit off. So we hadn't quite taken enough of that off. So press my scissors and go up. So we've now got it flushed. And do the same on this side. And then we're going to take from the corner here to that corner there in a diagonal. Put the tip of my scissors at the top. There we go. So that's that bit. So that's our bottom done. And then the top, we're just gluing these together like that. I'm just checking that I've trimmed enough off. That looks pretty good to me. So we're going to put glue on these 2 flaps here. So you want to make sure you don't take too much off these flaps, otherwise you get a gap when it closes up. Don't really want a gap, do we? I might do a little bit of trimming there. So that's given us a nice little edge there. Just that bottom bit there needs just a little bit of trimming. Take that edge off there. So for the inner of the box, we've got a 1/16 and 7, so a 1/16 bigger than 7, and a 1/16 smaller than 3, so 2 and 15/16, and that's given us the right taking away that we need so it fits inside the box. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. We want it to sit snugly. There we go. Ooh, drop my stylus. What am I like? Been dropping a lot of things lately. And then we're just, before we fold and burnish, we get a 1.5 inch circle punch, and if you line it up, put it down as far as it will go and line the edge of the punch with that first score line and punch, and then do the same on the other side, line it up with that score line and punch, and then you can eyeball when that punch is in the centre of both those circles, and you get perfectly lined up. There, 3 circles for the use of something else. And now we'll fold and burnish. All them score lines, and then we're just going to simply snip a notch and get it glued. I rotate, you don't have to, it's just something that I do. And then Tombow, red liner tape, tear and tape, something strong on the 4 corner flats, because it is a box. You want it to stay together, although to be fair, this would actually probably stay together because it's going to be held in the box. See that cut there? Yeah, slicing up an apple. I'd left my apple corer and slicer machine thing, looks like a wheel, upstairs. I want an apple. I was too tired to walk upstairs, so I used a knife. Yeah, I shouldn't be allowed to use sharp implements at all. I don't know if you saw my Instagram photo a few weeks back. I'd actually cut myself on me lovely Apple gadget, actually. That's because I was putting it in a bag. I was pushing something else in, forgot I had that in there. And that was it, slice. Okay, so that's the inner. And that fits in nice and snug, ready for the candles, which will sit in those holes we've made. So I'm going to cut out the mats for this and we'll get them stuck on. So to decorate the box, we're going to use this lovely free DSP. This is Lily Impressions design, very, very like the Perennial Essence paper. And so there is 6 lily designs, and then the other side is this lovely sort of painted look. I just think it's gorgeous. I love the colours. It has got my lovely Blackberry Bliss. It's got Pretty Peacock, which I also love. And they are very, very like Monet. Grapefruit Grove in there as well. Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love that. I've made something out of this sheet already. That's very lovely as well. Beautiful other side. This gorgeous bit of lovely lipstick, Floaty Flamingo in there. And that reminds me of some paper we had a few years back. Really like that. And then this final 6th sheet, which is the one I'm going to use. Look at that, lovely on the back, because I thought those colours went really well with the candles that I've chosen. I thought it's quite nice to pick them out. I actually had that one already, and I just bought these because to make this box, and I just picked colours I quite liked and thinking about colours that we had, and it was just a fluke that they worked out that way. So I'm going to cut the mats out of this, and I've pulled out some corresponding cardstock. So I've got the lovely lipstick, I've got the Blackberry Bliss, and I've actually got Balmy Blue, and it's Pool Party, and it's Pretty Peacock, but I actually thought the bits where they've sort of mixed together a bit looks a bit more Balmy Bluey, I thought, than Pool Party, and I thought that matched the candle a bit better. So we'll see. That's my thoughts at the moment. So I'm going to get this cut up, and then we'll start decorating the box, the fun bit. So I thought, actually, whilst I was doing this, I thought it's worth mentioning it. So to get a flow of pattern, so we're going to stick on the back, on the top and on the front. So I thought we actually want the pattern of the paper to go that way around. Now for the back and the front, they're all 6 inches wide, which is handy because that's cutting your cardstock in half. This new trimmer butts up there at 6 inches. And the top is 1 7/8, but the back and the front is 2 inches. So we want to do the back first. So we want to cut 2 inches there, so that bit could go on the back. And then we want the top to be 1 7/8, so just an eighth smaller. And then the front again at 2 inches. And then that way, when those are stuck down, the pattern follows. Although it's pretty abstract, and you probably wouldn't notice that that follows from there, but if you're using a different pattern paper, then that's sort of worth knowing. Now, because then if you stuck that way there, so it matched, it's actually upside down, so you may choose that because it's at the back to swap it around, but that's what I decided. And to make sure that I don't forget what goes where, I'm going to write on it if I can find a pencil. So what did I decide? That's the top and that's the front, so I'm going to put a T on that and an F on that and a B on that, so I know it's the back. Just thought that was worth pointing out to you. So then I just cut the side bits, and they are 2 by 1 7/8. So just gonna stick these on, use a bit of Tombow for wigglage, make sure I've got the front there. So that's all the panels stuck on, like so, and then we just need to snip on. My camera stopped filming just as I was snipping out the thumb hole with my 1-inch punch. So I literally eyeballed the middle and punched. That's all you've missed, sorry about that. So now I want to decorate the box because although that's pretty, we want to make it prettier. So I decided to go for the lily pad stamp set, and the matching die set. So these are celebrations. So the paper's celebration, so that means it's absolutely free when you spend £45 before postage and packing, from January through to March. So the 3 months of celebration. This lovely stamp set here is a photopolymer stamp set, and it's reversible. So you can stamp using, so they're slightly thicker. So you can stamp the lily side and you can stamp the solid side to fill it in. That's why you've got these grey shadowed bits out, to show that you can stamp both sides. And then the lily pad dies, which they cut out each of these flaps, the leaves and these lily pad leaves, plus a border, plus an extra leaf there, plus a couple of outline flowers as well. So beautiful set, and this one's free with a £90 spend. So if you wanted the two to match, you'd have to spend £135, and then you'd get both of those free. And yeah, so nice little addition there. So I've got my stamps all mounted. I've got my bits of cardstock, and I'm just gonna do loads and then decide what I want to do. So I'm going to do a big flower. So here I am, just stamping with Versamark, doing several different ones in different colours, because at this stage I'm not really sure how I'm going to decorate everything, so I wanted to make sure that I had plenty to choose from. And so I'm using white embossing powder as well, because I thought that kind of matched. I was thinking the sort of impressionist style sort of painting, having a little bit of white in there. It also went with the fact that I've done the box in white, so that's got a sort of a white edging to it as well. So my thoughts were that it would look really nice, and I've decided to bring in some Pretty Peacock after all. So I'm going to do the lily pads in Pretty Peacock as well as the Balmy Blue, so that I can sort of see what looks best once they're all cut out. So I've just got to heat emboss those as well, and then I will heat emboss everything all together. And I really love this effect, and I do think I made another project with this set before this one, and where I did some white embossing, heat embossing on it, and it really does make it pop and make it look lovely. So I can see myself doing a lot of this with this set, and I just love the sort of the way we've got the lines in the flowers as well. And you can see there the magic never fails to make me go woo when we see all that embossing powder melting there. And the dies cut out these big flowers and the other flowers as well, and the lily pads, as well as cutting out some like skeleton versions of the flowers as well, and some extra leaf designs. So I'm gonna be cutting out those elements off camera, and then we'll be placing them to decorate the box, to sort of finish it off nicely. So I'm just coming to the end there of my embossing, and then I shall be bringing in the dies, and there's also a border die as well, which I'm going to cut out because I think that will look really nice as well on the box. Possibly. Who knows what I decide to do in the end? Well, I know now because I've already done it, but you don't. You know what I mean? So I've got all the bits cut out, and then it's just a matter of deciding how to decorate my box. And I thought I would decorate this front bit as opposed to the top, because you're going to look at it like that to open it up. So I thought we'd have the decoration on there. And so these layer up, these cutouts will actually layer over that bit of the stamped image there, which I think is pretty cool. You quite like that. And so I thought what we might have is a bit of a lily pad going on over here, and we might stick some flowers on top of the lily pad. And we've got different types of flowers, so I might stick up there. This one obviously is much smaller, so it doesn't really layer over it, but it can go over it. Could put another lily pad under that and have a little leaf. And maybe stick with Pretty Peacock, which was an afterthought, and sort of pile it on like that a bit. That's quite gorgeous. I think that goes. So, I think that reflects the DSP really well there. And then it's just a matter of deciding, do I want to put something just simple on the top? So I'm thinking the other die set I've got is the Parisian dies, which goes with the Parisian, what am I talking about? Parisian Beauty. And we've got Mercy and Amour there and a beautiful swirl. So I'm thinking I might cut those out and have a little play. Okay, so I've been cutting out. I cut out some more of these. I cut out the swirls, the Mercy, the Amour, and sort of playing with what would go on the top. So that is what I'm going for. I cut the swirls out as well, but I thought that this worked better. And I quite like it being French because it's a bit like French Impressionist paintings, so I thought that looked cool. So I don't usually use quite so much on a project. I try to keep sort of minimum use, because I don't want people to think, oh my god, I've got to spend a fortune. But this blog hop was about showcasing the new catalogue, and so I thought, well, let's just chuck it all at it. So we've got celebration, plus we've got items that you can buy. I love this Parisian suite. There's 2 stamp sets. I haven't got the second one, just got the Parisian one. That's not to say I won't go and buy them, but I just got a limited amount of things in my pre-order, although looking at how much celebration I've got, maybe I didn't, because demonstrators have to spend £45 as well to get the freebies, and obviously we then get discount on our £45 spend, so we're not spending quite so much, but we get to earn, we can get it all through December, so we have 4 months of using these items. And there, I'm going to put that on there so it overlaps a tad. And I might do that again on a card, I just love it. There. And so that's it. That's my Stampin' Dreams blog hop entry tutorial. If you've missed the blog hop, if you go over to my blog, and you should get a link coming up, or there's a link down below, I will link to the blog hop as well, and you can go and see what other people have made as well. Okay, so I have a little shake there. My phone told me that my battery was dying. So there we go. That is it. Beautiful box. Lovely contents, all colour coordinated. Would you like to receive that? I would. I'd be very happy to have that. And then afterwards, you can of course take the inners out and use the box for something else. Little keepsakes. Remind you of love. Okay, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the blog hop. See you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like to buy any of this, then they're available from January the 3rd. If you need a catalogue, just get in touch and I'll be happy to send you one if you don't already have a demonstrator. Okay, bye for now.